Hale, I just want to give a special congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Sarah, I want to give congratulations to you.
Congrats to you.
Thank you. I'm going to give it to myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm for sure going to give it to myself. Thank you. I appreciate the kindness. Y'all, we made 20 episodes, and congratulations to the listeners, man. Like, we appreciate everybody that has been here on this journey. We are changing. We're learning. We're growing with y'all. So thank y'all so much. Let's get right on down to introductions and the ats, because we got just a dope show today. So y'all know the name if you've been here before, but if you haven't, my name is Malcolm Alexander. We're everywhere at Unfiltered Gems Podcast. Everywhere from the Instagrams to the TikToks to the Facebooks to the YouTube. That's special. You even get us on Gmail. You can just email us. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere. Unfiltered Gems Podcast, even the website. So thank y'all so much, man. You know, we're 20 episodes in. It really has me thinking we might have to change up the imaging. You know what I'm saying? We might have to get a new photo. I know a hot photographer on town right now. Look, man, like what our 3-year-old niece killing it. Shout out to Elliot. She's not 3, right? Like, she was 3 this year. Oh my god, a savant, truly a genius. Oh man, shout out to the Woodies. You got quite the legend on your hand as far as photography, visual artist potential. I don't know where she's gonna put it yet, but it's gonna go somewhere. She's gonna get it, man. Not having her work for you already. Child labor, baby. Okay, like I'm not gonna. I'll be her agent. I'm a protector. Like, look, don't look out for these monsters that are gonna try to exploit your craft. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, look, me, her parents just gonna look it over. Hold on, let's look at these. He's been known to be the toddler swindler. Old Ryan Hale. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Enough about it, guys. Welcome to the wild world of Unfiltered Gems. Ryan, you want to get the show started? Let's do it. Unfiltered Gems Podcast. How y'all feeling? How y'all doing? Look, I want to take a quick moment, man. I got to shout out 2 incredible people. That is the queens, the best DJs in LA. I'm talking about Kaylin Hype and Noma. Huge shout out to the African Video Club. Over the weekend, dude, they did an amazing day party over at Johnny's over here, West Adams, man, and it just went off. And I just got to shout them out. You know what I'm saying? They may hear this. They may not hear this. I don't know. But damn it, did they put on. And even with like how I think it's awesome to see artists, how do you say, like bend and be flexible with things that change. And it's just like, as everyone like navigates this almost post-COVID world, this almost endemic world, it's just like, you know, sometimes you got to make, events are not what they once were, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just like they smashed and did this dope ass day party, man, and Brink Entertainment got to provide sound for it. So if y'all need sound rental, and if y'all need, like, you know what I'm saying, like, holla at your boy. But not my promo. That is their promo. I just want to shout them out because they're my loved ones, and I had just an incredible time at the party. And so huge shout out to them, man. African Video Club, at Kaylin Hype, at This Is Noma. Yeah, if y'all want to, you know, dive into their world and see where they're DJing next. Got to talk about kind of the biggest story in the world right now. It's pop culture. It's the world. It's, I mean, I know the space stations are looking down on this, saying what the hell is about to happen. And of course, we're talking about Russia invading the Ukraine. And there's a lot to unpack from what has happened between our last podcast and now. By this time, far more than dozens of casualties. I don't know that the makeup of you know, innocent and non-innocent or whatever, but because I think when it comes to stories and unpacking this, everybody's owed a little bit of grace right now. It's like I know everyone probably practices their own degree of like getting away from the media at some point. So I do want to check in with you, Hale, and just like from what you've seen, like how are you? Are you good? And are you okay digesting the news? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's a lot to wake up every day living in a war torn country, and even if you're waking up and you're just seeing a country now be war torn, and to know the reasons as to why that is. It's just sometimes it's a burden to like just hold and to have all that knowledge and to see it happening. So, how are you doing in processing this? Yeah, we can really only hope, hope for that. I know there's a lot of questions, and by now, if you're listening to this, I hope that you've done your own fair share of research by the time you've gotten here. Because hell, just like yourself, it's like I do what I can to kind of limit my time on social media. But when stories like this break, I do find myself, sometimes paying close attention, too close attention, and sometimes it's just hard, to process it all and to see what could really happen. And then to start sitting with the ramifications of what does this look like if you are throwing support behind Ukraine, which I think the world sees, right? That Russia is clearly the villain here. Okay. And anyone listening to this podcast that is sympathizing with Russia is highly likely a white supremacist, right? And you can clearly see that Putin is a Hitler sympathizer, right? So he is a dictator, right? You cannot protest in Russia, right? For us to even have the privilege of doing this, that comes with us being here in these states, right? But a lot of people are wondering, like, is this the onslaught of World War III? Does this look like what could cause a huge world conflict? Just this singular geopolitical issue happening in that part of Europe. From what I'm gathering and what I'm seeing, potentially. Now, I'm also not a global war specialist or authority. But from what I've gathered is that, like, yeah, actually, in some cases, it could be in the fact that NATO involves a lot of countries, including us. We've sent troops over there already. The EU, even a lot of members of the EU, they've already sent troops over there to aid Ukraine, right? So I think about maybe some of the biggest takeaways of this invasion is like just what does this mean for Europe, right? What does this mean for a country and a leader who is bent on maintaining Slavic rule and Slavic elitism in the same way that Hitler was fighting for Aryans, right? Who wants to maintain that sense of elitism when it comes to whiteness? What does that mean? And what are the big, I think that's like a biggest takeaway. And what does this mean for white supremacy being emboldened globally? Mm-hmm. which is a whole other scene posted. And again, I think that's what's scary, right? Because it's like I wanted to use this time to like, yeah, I don't want to come in all hot headed and just be like, I ain't got no sympathy for Ukraine, or because I sincerely do, right? Innocent lives are involved here. You know, a country who was granted sovereignty, who was told that they're a nation, is and now a trigger, a trigger happy egomaniac wants to renege on that commitment. You know what I'm saying? For reasons literally only white supremacy can be evidence of, right? That throwing that support does come with costs. Those costs being our economy changing out here. Russia being a huge supplier of oil. Yeah, man, we already have high gas prices. They about to go up. You know what I'm saying? Like, know what that's going to mean for imports and exports and certain things that we consume, whether it is content, whether it is food, whether it is like that is what's going to happen with our support, right? But then, yeah, we do have to draw attention to the fact that even if the Ukrainian people are the victims here and the clear victims here, where can racism, even xenophobia to a certain extent, also play a factor in this story, right? And it's, as you mentioned, with Africans not being seen as Ukrainian, not being seen worthy enough to cross the border, to get out and to evacuate, right? Giving precedent to naturally born Ukrainian people, which naturally look nothing like naturally born African people or even brown people, right? And I think I open up this conversation and I bring it to an end as far as, how are you processing all of this, right? Because it can also be triggering due to the fact that hearing how reporters and journalists cover it and just say, well, this never happens in a civilized place quite like Ukraine, right? But people that have been living there who may not be white for all these years have been saying, no, actually, this place is pretty ghetto. It's a lot to digest, right? Because I think black people in America, we've dealt with our own state-sanctioned trauma. Look at what we just lived with in the pandemic, and I think people are still coming off of, like, how are we processing that, right? And how are us as black people? Yeah, man, how are us as black people still processing that and worrying about ourselves here? And we know that our Palestinian brothers and sisters, right, they're still dealing with state-sanctioned violence. It's not over, right? South America, right? There are plenty of places all around the globe that state-sanctioned or white supremacist-sanctioned violence is the norm, right? And I think that we have to cover these stories and digest these stories with the utmost empathy for ourselves and compassion for ourselves, and also for all the people involved, right? And look at the story from all these different angles. And so I want to leave it there. I want to switch gears and talk about another story that was trending heavily this week. And there's a lot of questions that come from it. Got to talk about Megan the Stallion, Tory Lanez, and also self-proclaimed journalist DJ Academics. Sorry, no, look. He's calls himself a journalist. Hey, but I like it because it's affirming, right? It's daily affirmations. I'm here for it. Yeah. But for your context, a little different. Hell, what have you seen? Could you set up a little bit of the Megan and Torey situation and where it currently stands? Goodness. Yeah. I believe so. I don't believe. Yeah, or the pretrial hearing is set for. Yeah, it started on the 23rd, so that's pretrial, and so I think it's gonna go into. Yeah, court today was pushed to April 5th. So yeah, yep. Hmm. Journalism. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's been a sincere level of chaos, right? And it's just like to one, I think we have to approach the academic situation, right, and what false reporting and how harmful it can be. During this whole trial, y'all, like we gotta be honest here, man. Why can we not just believe black women? I know we're still gonna paint this as allegedly, and so fine, we will say alleged. Okay, fine. We'll let it play out in court. But it's the lengths at which we are going, and I'm talking about media platforms. I'm talking about a lot of black men online to defend a black man, um, and the lengths that will go to criticize and demoralize a black woman. Like I don't know what it is, but maybe I can start with misogyny. Is that where I'm headed? Hell, as in why? Like no, why is it so hard to believe black women? Right? The lengths at which, like, in general, like the length, like why will we as a culture go to lengths or even be in a space that we can allow? And I think about what Torey tweeted last week, right? In that, oh well, I don't know, something to the effect of like, well, look, this is what happens when you dicking two girls down at the same time, and that be okay in pretrial, but yet Megan's maintained professionalism in all this. Of course, it's gonna tweet back at academics, but I just think that there's a way in which Megan is handling this, and there's a completely different way in which somehow we as a society are very okay with, and we allow Tory to get away with. Right? Why is it so hard to believe black women? And again, I'm just gonna point at like a clear sign of just toxic patriarchy playing out and misogyny. And I just want your thoughts starting there. That's always the first place that like men always go to. That's always the first place I hear men always go to. Well, women just be lying. They be really trying to take us down. And it's like, again, where does that belief? Where does that evidence come from? Yeah, incredible. Yeah, yeah, an incredible amount. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Sure. Oh no, 100%, right? And even then, there's still so much discourse on it, and to the point that even in pretrial, Megan decided to post the text messages from Torey from July 12th, right, saying, "quote unquote," Meg, I know you probably never gonna talk to me again, but I genuinely want you to know I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart, and I was just too drunk. Nonetheless, should have never happened, and I can't. And then there was continuing on, like, just told on himself right there, and we're still having the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, and Megan's other friend, the best friend, I guess. So but I'm just not in a space. It doesn't. And again, I think that's why the question goes is just like, why are we going to so many lengths to defend? Not, and I'm not saying we, but I think maybe I'm using we as a collective, like black men, as a community, as a culture. Um, it's the lengths at which we're going to denounce Megan's testimony and still try to defend Tory. That's my issue with, I think, a lot of this, even thus far. And I know that we have to let the political process play out, and the court of public opinion will go in all these different places, right? But it's just the rhetoric, it's the language, it's around what and how men are just going to just to implore Tory and denounce Megan. Again, it's weird and it's violent, dude. It's very weird, and it's like, and academics is not helping as a journalist. Yeah, 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 man. Yeah, yeah. I'm curious. I'm curious myself. We have to let it play out, y'all. Again, right now it's looking like court. We're in pretrial, but the primary hearing will be for April 5th. So, just once again, as we consume all this shit, y'all, ask the questions, look for sources. Academics is not a journalist. Credible ones. Academics is not a journalist. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll come back with more Unfiltered Gems podcast.
I've been shooting my shot in the DMs lately. Losing battle.
So learn your lady's way of communicating.
And I'm Malcolm Alexander. What's good? And it's good. It's spicy. It got the people talking. It got the people talking. But so does this. So does this next story, which is, oh boy, yeah, yeah. Come on, run it, run it, run it. Oh boy, yeah, yeah, totally. A different world. Like a different world, 100%. Indubitably. Absolutely indubitably. I'm sorry, like, look, and look, I'll save my thesis statement for a totally different podcast. We will literally need an entire podcast where I will, we're in this TED Talk. I will give you the 5 reasons as to why a different world is better than Fresh Prince, but I'll spare the listeners today. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 12 years. 12 years, 2 children. Or excuse me, together for 12 years, 2 children, and 5 years of marriage. So together for 12, and then five of those 12 married. Yeah. 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 How am I feeling? I'm feeling for Lenny Kravitz, and I just hope that he's okay in all of this. No, no, man. I don't know. I think about just how we do put celebrity couples up on a pedestal, man. Like, I ain't looking at no damn couple talk about some goals, because you don't know what's happening with them. I think the only reason I thought I saw Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet working out, and maybe I was a little more shocked, because I'm like, I feel like y'all just some nature people. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just like some mountain people. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you don't see a lot of Hollywood mountain people. Uh, One with the trees, you know what I'm saying? And me, I too, you know what I'm saying? Reasons why, like, I too. Reasons why, like, when I found out that they were getting divorced, I was like, sweet, here's my chance with Denise Huxtable. I was like, this is my chance. But now, I guess they're gonna keep working on it. But yeah, man, in all honesty, it's just like, again, celebrity couples, it's whatever to me, man. Whatever they. It does. It has a sour taste in my mouth, especially after the wild ride that the Red Table Talk family took us on. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired, boss. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Or just drastically changing the relationship dynamic in front of our eyes. mm. Well, I think that depends on what you're saving your relationship from. Um. Oh, 100%. There's things that you can't save it from. And I think that they're a lot more clear than not. And I'll get into them. I do just want to bring up, too, we recently just saw Miguel and his wife get back together after they had been married for like just a few years. Actually, one of my wedding partners was their officiant. So just shouting that out. That was dope. I happen to know him. I was like, that's really cool. Support black businesses in the wedding industry. Book Brink Entertainment. Okay, slight ad. Look, because they just heard an ad technically, so I was like, I know they're cool off it. But that, what I think is just beyond repair. We can, of course, blatantly say like abuse. I don't think that we need to leave a lot of room for like he gonna change or she gonna change when a heavy amount of not just physical, but especially physical, sexual, especially because I think that's what's also very insidious about violence from men in relationships, right? Is the psychological warfare that you will lead on your partner, right? And because of the way patriarchy is set up and the way society is set up, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot easier to believe a man or to go, well, like, right? Because how often do we look at women to be like, well, oh, y'all divorced? Well, what'd you do wrong? How often do we hold the man accountable for what they did? You know what I'm saying? You can even pull biblical evidence to say, well, like, no, but no matter what, he gonna fuck up. But baby girl, you gotta, I'ma stick beside him. You can even find, you know what I'm saying? In some context, you can find like the biblical evidence to it. So it's like, I just think there's a lot of things that are beyond repair, but I think it leads a lot to emotional intelligence. And I think that if your partner, if the man in the relationship, or if the woman in the relationship, if your partner is not meeting you on an emotionally intelligent level, that's where it's beyond repair, right? If we're 10 years, if we're 10 months, if we're, then it changes, right? No matter what. But if you have not gotten the emotional, and I'm not going to just say support, right? I want to find a more broader word because support is a part of it. But if you have not found the emotional oneness with that partner, then it's excuse me, I'm knocking forks over. Then it's never going to work out. You'll get you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, totally. But again, why you see a divorce rate so high? You know what I'm saying? You have a chance to, even on our dating special, which y'all should check it on YouTube, right? You get a chance to talk with divorcees that are, you know what I'm saying? And I'll just say, you know, approaching 60, right? So it's like, it comes where, yes, some parents have made it work. And I'm not even going to be here to shout a fake statistic and be like, yeah, because the divorce rate's so high, there's not that many. Look, I don't know, but look, I'm curious. I want to poll it. I want to ask like black kids, right? Like show of hands. And I feel like it would just be even. My heart tells me it would just be even as far as like, who has two black parents still together and who don't have two black parents still together. You know what I'm saying? And just weighing it. No. Mm. Mm-hmm. 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 Sure. Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like I'm not. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, like or what about like repeated infidelity? Repeated infidelity, and I'm not excusing infidelity just one time, but it is. It is. And I think it's actually a lot more even on not just it's abuse both ways, right? Because it's like it's clearly a lack of honesty that the person who's the cheater, it's them not feeling worthy of being in a relationship and then coping with their emotional dissonance with continued sex with other partners, right? And they get something out of like it's got to be secretive. Like they get something out of it. It's a sickness. You know what I'm saying? Like so like repeated. It's just like yeah. There's a point where it's like nah, man, this is beyond repair. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, it's I'm curious, but like who spends time? Is it mutual as far as who's fighting for the relationship? And I think that's well, sure, right, but and I think maybe that just
Do you like incredible musical performances and engaging conversations? Well, we've got both of those things for you right here at Mental Notes Live, the talk show focused on giving you tools to grow your faith, mindset, and progress. Hosted by yours truly, Ryan Hale. Be sure to follow us everywhere on any social media platform at Mental Notes Live, and go catch up on all of our previous episodes by visiting mentalnoteslive.com.